Namaste, I'm Sophia, welcoming you to a Durga meditation class. What do we perceive Durga as? Because she is a goddess, and in India, the goddess Durga is a Devi. For all who know that there's not just one goddess, Durga is also personification of Parvati, and the 108 personifications involves the different aspects of the Devi, Shakti, Durga. In this aspect, you have to understand that there's so many issues that on the physical plane one would be dealing with. In this, one would turn to the aspect of external guidance, advice, support from those that they feel they can rely on. In this aspect, as a celebration of worship, the energy of Durga, Mata, Devi, Goddess, Shakti is very powerful, as she has been known to be one that has actually had to face demons, and one in particular that she actually had to fight and ward off in terms of having to eventually defeat. But what are we talking about demons? Because this is not about ghosts, and this is not about actual demons. This is about the demons we fight every day in our every simple lives. This could be in our careers, it could be in our relationships, it could be in family, it could be in any area that we are subjected to outside influencing factors. And this also brings to mind that we have our own demons that we fight with. And the word demon is a bit, so I will change it to shadows. The shadows that we're constantly fighting could be our ego, our arrogance, ignorance, a sense of superiority over others, over ourselves. You see, the aspect of anything that comes to mind is that when you do turn to the aspect of the divine goddess, Shakti's energy, and seeking to be appeased, there are issues within every person that also requires one to understand. In this time when we're going through Navratri, and there are more than one personification of the aspect of what the divine Shakti, goddess, Devi, is to understand that it is a time where we have to come to a point of trying to find within ourselves what it is that we can also fight and overcome. And the major things that we actually find that we are pushed against the wall is that because we give in to fear too quickly. Right? So in this aspect, in this small but surely effective class, is to bring to your attention that the battle between the aspects of what we are not consciously aware of within ourselves, and when we turn outside of ourselves, we look into the aspect of how we can get respite from all these issues that we're faced with. So when we look at the Devi, again, like I said, Durga, Mata, and we understand that the aspect within her is that she has the strength to overcome all the earthly, worldly challenges that she's had to face, and one of them in symbolism is that she had to fight on the plane of or realm of divinity, overcoming such challenges that are perceived as the demon that she slew. In this aspect, we have to understand when we see her mounted on a tiger and having all the fearsome weapons, she is portrayed that she's attacked a demon, and the aspect of this is, one, it can be quite terrifying in a form when you do see as how she's portrayed in the mythology. And this aspect is that whatever she came to face and actually having to overcome in this, is that when certain issues in our lives tend to also change face and form in this way, is that you go around in circles, because the exaggeration of what is perceived in the mind, as when you're dealing with any one given situation, there will be in a dialogue of trying to expand and replay, and you go into speculative assumption. In this aspect, let's look at the Devi and the name Durga, okay, in remembrance of what she had to overcome for the good of humanity. And when I say for the good of humanity, in the mythology she's portrayed as having overcome the ferocious demon that was terrorizing humanity. We look at what is this. Fear is the only thing that terrorizes humanity, and it has so many aspects within itself, byproducts, that we would say from ego, from arrogance, from ignorance, any experience that any individual would be having would actually be broken down to segments as these, that each one would be dealing with the situation from a different standpoint. So in the aspect of those who do turn to the Devi goddess Shakti, Durga, for intervention, then you're looking at the aspect where you need to ask yourself, really, what are you taking inside that should remain outside? And how are you working in your best interest without creating chaos to actually safeguard yourself? All right? In this aspect, there is a point that one needs to take in, is that there is always a way in which one has to assess themselves. When we speak of the shadows, the inner shadows that maybe nobody else would know what you're battling with, what you are struggling with, is another place where you would actually be in the closures of your own mind and heart and feelings, and how you react back to this. But let's look at it from a point of where one needs to draw a line. And actually, when we speak about what are you doing to safeguard yourself, is learning from the lessons that within the experience or circumstances, situations that you have had to encounter to deal and battle with your own demons, inner shadows, whether they've been inflicted on you or whether you are actually harboring them. So what exactly does one need to take in the terms of assessing your own understanding of what you're dealing with in terms of the troubles and problems you're having? So you see, it's like if you're going to have a plot or a property and it has no fence, anything can just come in and go as it pleases. So what are we exactly talking about here? The word boundary comes into mind, where we have to set certain boundaries in our lives. What we're going to allow ourselves to actually let into our space, and what it is that we are going to actually lay down to ourselves as well, as to what it is that if we have boundaries, we also have to respect other people's boundaries as much as we would like our boundaries respected. In this aspect, we would like to see the turning within to actually assess, because one has to find a place that there has to come a time where all the hurt, as I've spoken in my previous classes, that allowing yourself to be subjected to any kind of violation is when you're most vulnerable. And sometimes there are times when your life has to be something that you will manage in such a way that you do not allow yourself to be actually a victim of circumstances, situation, people, things. Okay, so in this aspect, my interpretation of the whole is that Durga actually comes to bring to mind that you need to look into your shadows, and you need to face those shadows, and you need to deal with the ones that are actually interfering with your peace of mind and actually causing chaos and instability. Is one thing that comes to mind as I'm actually channeling this, is that the instability and insecurity that also is derived from that which you're battling with in terms of fear. So in the aspect of this, it is vital that you actually express yourself without having to fear, because Durga is actually fearless. If she could take on such a big symbolic demon, as I would say it. And mythology has a way of portraying something that is way out of our comprehension, and so it is interpreted in terms of which the story is told. In this aspect, perhaps in relationships, they are certainly give and take, and sometimes the compromise and sacrifices, coping and accepting can be quite overwhelming when it's one-sided. Okay, there is a need for one to actually understand that it is your sole responsibility to safeguard yourself from being hurt, and you can actually find that within yourself, that the strength that you look out to the divine Shakti that is flowing within you is for you to understand, as much as you look up to the divine Deva, Mata Durga, with all her strength, that is where you're supposed to turn to and ask her to teach you, to guide you, to intervene for and on your behalf, and to represent you. Alright, so you can place her in your imagery as you communicate with her, and all the virtues and values and characteristics, attributes, and her persona that is appealing to you, where you feel that you lack that in yourself and you want that kind of attribute within yourself. Alright, so we're going to go through a small guided guidance on how you can actually do this. And some people find that when they actually participate in doing something and are surrounded by the physicalities of objects and things, it makes them feel good. Like right now I'm recording this and I have some beautiful soothing music at the background, and it's not disrupting me, and it wouldn't disrupt you either because it's not noise. So we look at things that you will have to find what it is that you want in your life, because you would be the only person who knows what actually gives you that sense of heightened relaxation and eases your mind from escaping or running amok into self-detrimental dialogue, assumptions and speculation. Alright, so in this, it is to invoke on the divine Mother Durga to come and assist you, to teach you. It's more like also to take your hand and walk with you through the process and walk you through the process as well. So I would suggest that very simply that you will have to take time out sometimes and have a me time out where you want to rekindle with actually just rejuvenating yourself or working on the areas of which you already know that require working on. And in this you can invite the Divine Mother Durga, her Shakti, to actually assist you in the process. In this, it's very simple. It's not going to be texting, and there's nothing that you need to actually be too concerned about whether it's right or wrong. Take your time, and I always advise that people should first listen to the class and become familiar with everything as opposed to just jumping into it. Okay, so you will have to find a place where you will not be disturbed, and there are no fast rules about this, so you would know your best comfortable position. And if you're going to be sitting on the floor or on a chair or anything, lying back on the pillows, make sure that whatever it is, that it is either you're lying completely flat, because it's preferably that you have your spine completely straight, for one reason, that the energy can flow without any constricting block, because you can do that. I wouldn't advise that you cross your legs on this one, because then again you'll be restricting the flow. So either you can sit on a chair comfortably with your feet firmly on the ground, and also you can sit comfortably with your back erect in a very comfortable chair, or choose a nice carpet where you can actually lie with your back flat and you would be facing the ceiling. In this, you can have your hands just resting on your side if you feel that you are more comfortable that way. So what does this involve? Okay, because with this, you will find that when you are relaxed, and the easiest way to get into relaxation mode is to actually pay attention to your breathing consciously as you draw it in. Do it about 3 times and exhale it very slowly through the small opening of your mouth. And with this, when your intention is set that I am now choosing to be relaxed, it is a choice you're making, and your body will cooperate with you on the mental, emotional and physical level. So what do you require to do this? Okay, anything that you're comfortable and feeling safe and protected. How? Because you're not going to have restricting clothes with you, and you're not going to be having the phone on, and you're not, because you're going to let everybody know that it's time out if you're living in a joint collective family. And the one thing that comes to mind is that whatever makes you feel comfortable, do that. And you can create your own space, okay, whether it's a small space or it's a space out in the garden or wherever it is that you find that is where you like to hang out, okay. And make sure that it's a space that you're not going to be disturbed. And in this, you can bring about the things that make you feel comfortable, whether it's soft music, anything that you find nurtures you, whether it's flowers, whether it's scented candles, and basically if you just like being, in a clear space with no obstruction or anything that you find that you don't want around you. But one thing I would advise you is no people. This is about you. This is about you reconnecting and asking the Divine Durga, through her energy, courage, to impart the same to you. And with this, it is best for you to actually fill yourself with the things that remind you of her strength and her courage, okay? But no human pictures, but you can have her picture if you want, all right? So in this aspect, once you have created your space and you find that at the end of the day everything's all set for the time and day that you want to do this, you prepare yourself ahead in advance. All right, so as we said, you can have anything that you find is nurturing and things that you love to have around you, except the portraits of family, friends and peers and colleagues. And with this, understand that this is your own private sanctuary. This is somewhere you are creating for you to actually connect with the divine aspect. Okay, so take as much time as you want to prepare yourself about what it is, when it is, and how it is you want to go about this. And once you've done that, it's up to you now to know that when you get into this space and you are relaxed and you go through the mode of actually doing that, and you're sitting in your space, with yourself, by yourself, and you sense that whatever it is you imaginarily will draw a circle around yourself, that is usually with the colors that you resonate with, that is what you have set and drawn your line, or what we call your boundaries, and you affirm to yourself that with this and the Divine Mother's guidance and her Shakti and everything that you feel was what drew you to her, that she is there to teach you and guide you, and you ask, you invoke that Divine Mother and I are one, and I'm asking you, Divine Mother, to guide me, to teach me, for I am now ready to take this lesson from you. And with this, to reactivate the sacredness of your circle, your space, you have to actually find that you need to completely bring yourself to a point of relaxation. Like I said, at the end of the day, you breathe and visualize her imparting to you the strength. How it is you will choose to do that is to know that it is okay, it is fine. It is the only way that you can connect with her, by calling her, asking her to sit with you in the space, or you can actually bring her to your mind's eye, anything that connects and resonates with her. All right, and with this, you can always know that whenever you feel down, out, and anything is encroaching your immediate life in any situation or circumstance or experience, that you can also, before sitting in this space, you know how you've set it, you can take a deep breath and go to that place imagery and recharge yourself, rejuvenate yourself, and take back your power. With this and with practice, as you will have to want it enough to work with it, with practice, as I said, it is going to be something that you find it's as easy as breathing, that anytime you want to connect with her, you will talk to her mentally. A lot of people feel that they can telepathically speak to her and hear her back in return, and in this, intuitively, you're placing yourself where the vibration that flows through you, and anything and everything that you want to learn, to know, to understand about yourself and the situation you're encountered with, or the experience you're having, that you can easily communicate it to her. With this, you find you strengthen the bond of your divine aspect within yourself, because you're actually mirroring to yourself that which you are connecting to. So I trust that you will find this serving when you do find the time for you to make time to do this, that you can do so with any other aspect of any one given personification of her 108 aspects, attributes, in all the different forms that she's portrayed as. So you will have to find what resonates with you. With this, I'd like to leave you with a small aspect of her joyous little whispers that when you do learn to communicate with her, you find that she's the wholesome of everything that you find that you want to realize and become and achieve and attain, and that you put it off, and you are being consumed by that which you find time is not enough. So you can actually incorporate how you want her to assist you in anything that you're doing. All right, so with that, I will leave you with a small little whisper of her, which actually more or less describes her energy, her Shakti. All right, when threatened by whatever it is that falls under the guise of a shadow that is intimidating, that is overpowering and overwhelming, and is threatening your sense of peace, know that you can always exhale me in through the breath that you breathe, and there I am, always with you, for there it is I will stand and fearlessly fight on your behalf from that which is fearful to you. With all that I am and all that is within me, in that which you look forth to experience, to own, to be, to become, in your strength, I will continue to encourage. In this, know that the place that you are and that where you place yourself, all that which you fear, you can hand to me, and I will in turn discard it. But it is in your asking, in your communion with me, because I will not impose myself into your space, where you will feel the need to reach out. Know that I am approachable, for I'm always with you in whatever form you perceive me to be. I will always flow within thee. We can dance the dance of life together and rejoice and celebrate your victory over the inner joys and the inner states of calm. When you celebrate overcoming your greater fears, whichever and whatever they may be, there I will be. For be assured, a woman I am, a wife, a mother, and goddess. And this too you are. You are yet to grow accustomed to hearing me say these words to you, for I embrace you and nurture you in finding yourself within the comforts of the assuring energy that I always impartially impart to you. I will continue to support thee and nurture thee, for love of me is what draws you towards me, and love of me will always surround you. So breathe me in and ask of me of the guidance that you seek, that I might remind you once again that you have overlooked the greater virtues of all that which you see within me exists within you. May the peace and blessings always be with you, as I will continue to remind you to remember that in all the worthiness, in all your deservingness, you will receive as you ask of me. Stay blessed. With this, I'd like to thank you for the brief participation and find it within yourself to hold yourself with grace and know that the words she speaks, you have to want to experience them. I'm Sophia, wishing you a joyous experience. Namaste.